With the Bethesda and Square Enix press conferences wrapping up, in this video we're going over 8 PlayStation 4 and yes, a couple of PlayStation 5 games are in there as well. The verbiage PlayStation 5 wasn't used specifically, but with a couple of the Bethesda titles they said they are slated for next generation platforms. With that being said, we'll cover the Bethesda titles first as that press conference did happen last night. First up, we have the announcement of Doom Eternal, a follow-up to the excellent first-person shooter in Doom. We didn't see much of Doom Eternal, but if it's anything like the 2016 experience, I'm sure it'll be a great game. They did promise more information of Doom Eternal very soon, but just the fact of knowing this game is in development and is coming was a nice announcement. By any means not a huge surprise, but very nice to see a follow-up to the 2016 Doom title. Next up, we also had announcements about the 2017 Prey title by Arcane Games, and specifically, they are doing a couple of expansions, and there's already been a free update release, but we're gonna be going over the expansions. The first downloadable content in Moon Crash is a procedurally generated adventure, and that is also available right now, along with the New Game Plus mode, as well as the survival mode. But also later in the summer, we're getting a multiplayer mode known as Typhon Hunt. Some players play as the Typhon monsters that can disguise themselves in the game setting, while others will play as the standard character. They also did mention that this game will have some sort of VR support, although they didn't go too in-depth into that. Nice to see that Prey did well enough to justify continued support for that game, as it was an IP coming back from the vault, and Arcane Studios did do a really good job with it, but I wasn't sure about how that game translated commercially, but it seems like it did well enough for them to continue on with support. We also had another expansion, this one to Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. This will probably be very similar to how Wolfenstein: The Old Blood was released, in that it was a budget title. The Young Blood is set 19 years after the events of The New Colossus. You play as BJ's twin daughters and will fight against the Nazis in France 1980. Now, they are twin daughters, so this game will also have a co-op element to it, so that's very interesting. We didn't get a release date for Wolfenstein: The Young Blood, but hopefully it comes very soon.
To survive, you have to embrace the suffering. To stand up and carry it. It's not about the pain you can deal. It's about how much you can take.
It's do or die, sis. Just like Papa taught us.
Next up was kind of a surprising announcement, and one that I don't think a lot of people even caught on with, and that is the Elder Scrolls Blades. Now, if you were watching the E3 press conference, you might associate the Elder Scrolls Blades as a mobile title, but no, Todd Howard specifically said that they plan on bringing this game to every platform they can. That includes PC, consoles, mobile, and everything in between. Now, the Elder Scrolls Blades, while it was designed specifically for mobile, and that's the version we saw in action, this does look like a more fully fledged Elder Scrolls game. No, it's not at the level of the console experiences, but it does look rather good. They did say it was running on an iPhone X, and visually it did look pretty good. They also did mention it's going to be a free-to-play game, so yeah, this wasn't the brand new iteration of the Elder Scrolls you may have been looking for, but we will be getting to that in just a second.
And it's not just melee, you have a range of abilities and spells you can use. And of course, you can create your own character and be who you want to be. Improving them, leveling up, picking new abilities. And the entire game can be played in portrait mode. That one was incredibly important to us, that you could play it however you wanted. You never know when you'll need a free hand.
So after they showed off the Elder Scrolls Blades, they also talked about how they were going to do a brand new IP, and this one specifically they did say was a next generation title, and that is Starfield. Starfield has been a game that's been rumored for a very long time, and the trailer didn't give us much to work with, but it did give us a sense of the spatial ambiance to it. And this is Bethesda's first new IP in a very long time, so it'll be very interesting to see how this one turns out. Now, because Todd Howard did specifically say that this is a next generation title, one would think that at the earliest this would be a 2020 title, as 2019 is still packed with game releases. I don't think we're going to see the PlayStation 5 in 2019, and if the PS5 is released, say, holiday 2020, and Starfield comes out as a launch title, well, that would be a pretty massive launch title. Let's cross our fingers and hope that comes to fruition, but as of right now, we don't have much to work with this game, but we have heard a lot of rumors and finally get to see this one come to fruition. But not only did Bethesda and Todd Howard announce Starfield, Todd Howard also mentioned that they are working on their game after Starfield, so this will be yet another next generation title. And of course, that is the Elder Scrolls 6. We have no subtitle to it. The trailer was very short. It was pretty much just an announcement trailer to let us know that this game was in development. I've been hearing crazy things about people thinking that this game is going to come anytime soon. Again, as I mentioned, Starfield was said to be a next generation game, so you would think at the earliest that would be coming in 2020, and the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be the game after that. So do the math, you're probably not going to see this game until 2021 at the earliest. Unless somehow the PlayStation 5 was released in 2019 and Starfield releases in 2019 and we get the Elder Scrolls 6 the year after that. That is the absolute best case scenario if you're talking about getting the game the earliest. Personally speaking, I don't think the Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be released until 2021, 2022, maybe even 2023. While I'm very excited for a new Elder Scrolls game, I really didn't think E3 was the time to be announcing a title like this, especially because we are so far out. But at the end of the day, they didn't really show much about the game. We don't even have a subtitle, so chances are we're not going to be seeing this game for a very long time, and it might re-emerge at E3 maybe 2 or 3 years from now. So those were the Bethesda game announcements. We also had the Square Enix conference earlier, and that conference was a lot of stuff that we have already seen, but we did get a couple of surprise announcements of new IPs. First, we had a trailer for a new IP by Platinum Games in Babylon's Fall. Yes, they are not working on a brand new Nier Automata game, rather they are creating a new IP in Babylon's Fall, and all we got was a quick cinematic trailer, but it's a trailer you could definitely overanalyze. Unfortunately, no gameplay, but I imagine this is going to be another action-heavy game as Platinum Games is known for. Some might be disappointed that they aren't working on a brand new Nier game, but I am never gonna complain about a brand new IP with Platinum Games at the helm, Square Enix publishing it. This is one with a lot of potential, and based on what we saw, it does have more of a Western feel to it, opposed from their last title in Nier Automata, which was of course a Japanese title. Hopefully at some point Platinum does revisit Nier again. Hell, that could be in development right now alongside Babylon's Fall, so we'll wait and see on that, but for now we know that Babylon's Fall is coming, and it is set to be released in 2019. And finally, we had a surprising new IP announcement in The Quiet Man. This is one we hardly saw anything of, but we did get a bit of gameplay. It actually started as a live action trailer, and then it transitioned into gameplay. Based on the trailer, it looks like the main character is deaf, but the combat looked very interesting. The IP itself looks very unique. So at an E3 that so far has been a lot of sequels and follow-up entries in existing IPs, I appreciate the fact that Square Enix took some risks and showed off 2 brand new IPs. Both of them look very interesting. This is one we don't know much about, but they did say more information is going to come in the future, of course. So that is going to conclude this video. 8 new PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game announcements with Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. I could even see The Quiet Man because we don't know much about a transition into a next-gen game. Hopefully it does not, but E3 thus far has been great for PlayStation 4 owners. A lot of great announcements here, and of course with the Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield, you're going to have to wait a little while for those games, but we do have Fallout 76 later this year to hold us over on the Bethesda side of things. So sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.